Hello dear students. Now we will move on to section 2.5, the existence and uniqueness theorem. So this theorem gives a important result about existence and uniqueness of solution of the quasi-linear PDE. So we have definition 2.9 which says that a quasi-linear PDE with the corresponding initial condition defining on an initial curve for the integral surface, and we say that this equation and the initial curve satisfy the transversality condition at a point S on gamma. Gamma is the initial curve if the characteristic emanating from the projection of gamma of S, that is starting from the initial curve, if it intersects the projection of gamma non-tangentially, that is it should not meet tangentially, that is the Jacobian should be non-zero. So if the Jacobian is 0, this vector will be a constant multiple of other, so it will be tangent to each other. So this we have already discussed it, so it is given in terms of definition 2.9. So if the Jacobian is non-zero, then we say that there is a it satisfies the transversality condition, okay, which corresponds to a unique solution in the neighborhood of the initial curve. So here A is nothing but xt at 0s, okay. B is yt at 0s. This is xs at 0s. This is ys at 0s. Now we will see more theorem 2.10. So assume that the coefficients of the quasi-linear equation, this is a quasi-linear equation, aux plus buy equal to c. Mark it as equation 1. Suppose they are smooth functions of their variables in the neighborhood of the initial curve, and the initial curve is given as x at 0s equal to x naught of s, y at 0s is equal to y naught of s, u at 0s is equal to u naught of s. Now assume further that the transversality condition holds at each points in the interval s naught minus 2 delta, s naught plus 2 delta, that is in the neighborhood of s naught. In the neighborhood of S naught, this transversality condition holds on the initial curve. So S is a fixed point in the initial curve. When you fix x, you have a curve. Now then the Cauchy problem 1, so this is a Cauchy problem with the corresponding initial condition, has a unique solution in the neighborhood. So we have to show that it has a unique solution in the neighborhood of the point Ts, where S belongs to S naught minus delta, S naught plus delta, that is the neighborhood of S, and we have an epsilon neighborhood of T. So T is an element of minus epsilon comma epsilon. So in where the point Ts belongs to minus epsilon comma epsilon cross S naught minus delta, S naught plus delta. So T comes from this interval, S comes from here. Now so if the transversality condition holds, then you have a unique solution in this interval. Now if the transversality condition does not hold for an interval of S values, then the Cauchy problem 1 with the initial condition has either no solution at all or it has infinitely many solutions. So the result we have already seen, but now we are studying it as a theorem. So first we have to show that this as a solution is there, and then the solution is also unique. So we have, this is our quasi-linear equation PDE, AUX plus BUY equal to C, and then these are the initial condition. So first we will show that it has the surface which we get, which we have illustrated in the examples. We have done so many examples. Okay, so in this we have illustrated how we are getting the integral surface. We are taking characteristic, we are first writing the characteristic equation, taking the initial condition, we are solving the characteristic equation will give you characteristic curves. Then once you got the characteristic curve, have the integral surface as a parametric representation in SNT. Then you can sometimes, if it is possible, you can invert the transformation, so you will get a integral surface in x and y as a in terms of a Cartesian coordinate. So first we will show that the integral surface that we are getting in that way is actually a solution to this PDE. It means that that integral surface should satisfy this PDE. Now in the second case we will show that that solution is also unique. There are that is, the integral surface that we got from like this is also unique, that we have to show. The remaining things are all trivial, it follows. Okay, so let us see the proof. We have this is our quasi-linear PDE. Mark it as equation 1. AUX plus BUY equal to C. Here A, B, C are function of x, y, u. So it is a quasi-linear equation with the initial condition x naught of s equal to x at 0s, y naught of s equal to y at 0s, u naught of s equal to u at 0s. And we have the characteristic equation is first one is xt, that is dx by dt equal to a, dy by dt equal to b, du by dt equal to c. Mark it as equation number 2. Now we see that equation 2 is a system of first order ODEs, and when we solve these ODEs we usually get the characteristic curves. Now here we have to use the existence and uniqueness theorem of ODE. Okay, since it is a first order ODE, if the coefficients are smooth, there exists a unique solution. So by the existence and uniqueness theorem, it follows that system 2 together with the initial data has a unique solution. It means that unique characteristic curve exists at each point of the initial curve. So once we got a characteristic curve, we have to take union of all those characteristic curve, and in this way we will get our integral surface. We usually get an integral surface as a parametric representation, and if the transversality condition is satisfied, we can invert the transformation and we will get a smooth surface, which will be the required integral surface in x and y. So this is the usual procedure of doing. Now we will prove the theorem in two parts. In the first part we will verify that the surface so obtained satisfy the PDE. That is, here we got a surface like this. Here we obtained a surface like this by taking union of all those characteristic curves. First we will show that. We will show that this satisfies the PDE, that is equation number 1. So suppose that u tilde equal to u tilde of xy be the surface obtained. So this is the Cartesian coordinate. So u tilde of xy is nothing but it is a function u of t and s. Earlier we got in terms of t and s, which is a parametric representation. Okay. So we will show that u tilde is actually a surface. It satisfies the PDE, that is our equation number 1. So first we will find u tilde of x. We have to show that it satisfies equation 1, and our equation 1 is this: AUX plus BUY equal to C. This we have to get. So we will show that u tilde satisfies equation 1. So we will first find u tilde, derivative of u tilde with respect to x. So u tilde is a function of t and s. Okay, u tilde as u is a function of t and s. So when we differentiate it partially with respect to x, first we have to differentiate it with respect to t. So u with respect to t, then t with respect to x, plus u is also a function of s. So u with respect to s, s with respect to x. Okay, so this is our usual chain rule. Now u tilde with respect to y. Now u tilde is u of t and s. U is a function of t and s. So first we have to differentiate u with respect to t, then t with respect to y, plus u with respect to s and s with respect to y. Now we will check whether equation 1 is satisfied. So we will substitute in equation 1. So LHS is AUX tilde plus BUY tilde is equal to A into, for UX tilde we will substitute from here, it is UTTX plus USSX plus B into UTTY plus USSY. Now you can see that UT, if you take it outside, it becomes ATX plus BTY, plus if you take US outside, it becomes ASX plus BSY. So mark it as equation A. Now we will calculate what are these quantities inside the bracket. Okay. Now we know t is a function of x and y. So when you differentiate t with respect to t, so dt by dt is as usual 1. Okay, it's trivial. Now it can be written as t with respect to t we are doing. So t first since t is a function of x and y, first differentiate t with respect to x, then x with respect to t, plus t with respect to y, then y with respect to t. So LHS is 1, so we will get 1 equal to xt. Xt is nothing, these are our characteristic equation. You can see equation number 2. Xt is A, Yt is B, Ut is C. These are the characteristic equation. So if you substitute for xt, you will get ATX plus BTY. So we got substitution for this. ATX plus BTY is equal to 1. Now similarly, s is a function of x and y. Suppose we are differentiating s with respect to t. So s is independent of t, so we have ds by dt is 0. Again we can write it as s, first you differentiate partially with respect to x, then x with respect to t, plus s with respect to y, y with respect to t. So we see that LHS is 0, so and xt is A, Yt is B, so we'll get 0 is equal to ASX plus BSY. So if we substitute the values here, ASX plus BSY becomes 0. So we have, and this term is 1. So we get, if we substitute in equation A, we get AUX tilde plus BUY tilde equal to UT into 1 plus US into 0, which is UT. Now what is UT? From the characteristic curves, characteristic equation, we have UT is C. Again from equation 2, we have UT is C. So it means that AUX tilde plus BUY tilde equal to C. It means that UX tilde satisfies the equation of the PDE. So it satisfies equation number 1. So u tilde equal to u of xy is a solution of the PDE. Now next we have to show that this solution is unique. Now we know that the characteristic curves starts from the initial curve. They take data from the initial curve and they propagate like that. Okay, so since the characteristic curve starts from the initial curve, we only have to show that once it starts from there, it does not leave that surface. Okay, that is, we have to show that it remains there. It does not leave that surface. Now let u equal to f of xy be the integral surface. Here we will prove that we will take an integral surface and we will take a characteristic curve on it. We will show that this characteristic curve remain on this integral surface whatever be the value of t. Okay, when t is 0, it is satisfy the condition of the initial curve. Now as the value of t increases, this characteristic curve will remain on this surface. It does not leave that surface. That we will show it here. Okay, so this is our aim. We have chosen an integral surface u equal to f of xy, and we have taken a characteristic curve on that integral surface, that is x of t, y of t, u of t. Now we assume that u at 0 is f of x of 0, y of 0, and we define a function psi of t equal to u of t minus f of x of t, y of t. Okay, so this thing you have to define. You have to define the function psi and you have to assume u at 0 is like this. Now as the proof goes on, you will see the reason for choosing psi like this. Okay, because once you prove that psi is identically 0, you will get u of t is f of x of t comma y of t. That is, it means that the characteristic curves remains on the integral surface as t moves on. So we have we have to choose psi of t like this, that is psi of t is u of t minus f of x of t comma y of t. Now d psi by dt is equal to u of t minus, we are differentiating it with respect to t. Now f is a function of x of t and y of t. So f, when you differentiate, so f first we have to differentiate with respect to x, x with respect to t, plus f with respect to y, y with respect to t. Now when you substitute the values, we can see that this fx is a function of x and y, so you will get, this is nothing but ut minus fx at x comma y xt. This become minus fy of x comma y yt. Now we know that ut is nothing but c by the equation of characteristic curves we have from equation 2. These are the characteristic curves. So ut is nothing but c of xyu. So this is c of xyu minus fx of x comma y, and xt is nothing but a of xyu characteristic curve minus fy of x comma y, and yt is b of xyu. Now we have u is nothing but psi plus f. From this you can see that psi is u minus f, so u is psi plus f. So for this u we will substitute as psi plus f. Okay, so we are getting d psi by dt equal to c of xy psi plus f minus fx at xy, a of x comma y psi plus f minus fy of x comma y, b of xy psi plus f. So for u we have substituted as psi plus f. So here we have a ordinary differential equation. Okay, and this is a function of psi and t. Psi is a function of t. Okay, so t is the independent variable here. Now since u equal to f of xy satisfy the PDE, we have that u satisfy the PDE. So from the equation 1 psi always u is a solution of the PDE that we have proved in the first part. Okay, so we will get this part is 0. Okay, so this is of the form afx plus bfy, we have aux plus buy equal to c. So instead of u you have f here. Okay, now u is a function of f of xy. So this is of the form a fx plus buy equal to c. So this is RHS is 0. So we have d psi by dt equal to 0 because u equal to f of xy satisfies our PDE. It is a solution. So now d psi by dt equal to 0 implies psi is a constant. So psi is a constant. It is independent of t. It is a constant. Now suppose that psi equal to some k. But we have psi of 0. What is psi of 0? Here we have defined psi like this. So psi of 0 is u of 0 minus f of x of 0, y of 0. For this we have already assumed that u of 0 is same as f of x of 0, y of 0. So this implies that psi of 0 is 0. So for getting that we are assuming like this. Okay. So we have psi of 0 equal to 0. So psi of 0 equal to 0 implies that this constant must be 0, because if it takes a constant value, at 0 also it should take the constant value, but at 0 we have the value is 0, hence this constant must be 0. So psi must be 0 everywhere, psi is identically 0. Okay, and we also see that psi is a solution of this ordinary differential equation. Psi is identically 0 and psi satisfies this ODE. But we know that an ODE, by the existence and uniqueness theorem for ODE, it has a unique solution. And we got one solution, psi as 0. Psi is equal to 0 is one of the solution. And since this ODE has a unique solution, the solution must be unique. So psi equal to 0 is the only solution of this ODE. That is, psi is always 0. Whatever be the value of t, psi is identically 0. Now if psi is identically 0, what we are getting is u of t equal to f of x of t y of t. That is we have u of t is equal to f of x of t y of t for all t. So whatever be the value of t, u of t takes this value. It means that the characteristic curves remains on the surface even the t increases. Okay, so this is the characteristic curve. It lies on the integral surface even on as whatever be the value of t, it lies there. It does not leave the surface and it remains there, and hence the integral surface that we have constructed by the union of characteristic curves is also unique. So that is the proof. Thank you.